My name is Goldman. I'm the director and founder of Goldman & Associates. Our firm has a primary focus on family law issues here in Michigan. And today we're going to continue our video series designed to educate and inform the public, so please subscribe to our channel. A lot of times people will have different reactions to family law, to custody matters, to divorce. I was greeted by a client who said, "I'm shocked. My spouse filed for divorce. Now what?" I guess taking that statement and dividing it up, the fact that the person is shocked, usually divorces don't come from out of the blue. You don't go from having a perfect relationship on one day to your spouse coming the next day and saying, "I want a divorce." There's usually some sort of breakdown, some sort of thing going on, and it's usually not all that shocking that somebody might file, but I don't think the shock in the case of this particular client who said this to me, I don't think that shock lied in the fact of a divorce. I think perhaps it lied in the timing of it and how it was presented or whatever. But nonetheless, the person is now faced with a situation where they may have thought things were bad. They may have thought things needed work. But they may not have thought they were going to be looking at divorce papers. And now they're shocked. Why? Because they get those divorce papers and they see so-and-so versus so-and-so. It really makes it very, very real when you see your spouse against you written in the papers like that, like you're sworn enemies involved in a litigation, and now you have to deal with that and air the linen of your marriage before the court. So it really brings a function of realism to the whole thing. Question is, what do you do now? Well, if you're shocked because you got papers, if you're shocked because a bailiff handed you some papers and you open it up not even knowing what it is and you see these are divorce papers, what you should do is immediately contact an attorney. If you don't have one, start the search for one. Usually divorce papers that are newly filed have a certain amount of days within which to respond. It's usually 21 days if you're served locally. And so it's ample time to take a little bit to get over the shock and then call a lawyer. And part of the reason why you should call a lawyer in that case is because you're shocked. You don't understand the import of this. You don't understand what's going on. There's a flurry of emotion sort of surrounding the whole event. So it's important to speak to someone who can tell you, okay, look, this is what you've got. It's new to you. I've seen it 1,000 times. This is what it is. This is what this means. This is what that means. And sort of bring a little understanding to the situation. You know, part of the fear factor associated with these kind of pleadings is the unknown. You don't know what it means. There's an order that requires you to do something. There's an interim alimony order or child support order. There perhaps is some sort of no contact or an interim order enjoining the parties from doing things, a freezing of assets. What does all this mean? Your lawyer will explain to you what it means, what the import of it is, and how it affects your life. And that may reduce a little bit of, not the initial shock factor, but at least a little bit of the unknown, which will make the whole thing a little more understandable as you go through it. You have to understand one thing, though, on your end. The lawyers can explain to you what's going on. They can explain to you what the legal papers mean, what the people involved are going to do from this point forward, what the court will do from this point forward. What does the clerk do? What are all these? What's the office of the friend of the court? How are they involved? They can explain all the legal things to you. But the relationship things, the thing that brought you the shock in the first place, the breakdown of your marriage, it's not really something the lawyers can tell you a whole lot about. You're an expert in your spouse. You're the country's leading expert in that man or woman. Nobody can really bring an elucidation to you about what happened unless they were, living with you day to day, day in, day out, all those times to see what caused the breakdown, and lawyers don't really get involved in that. But what they do get involved in is what the papers mean and what it means to you going forward. Now, if you have any questions about that, reach out. We'll be glad to help you out.